I see you shiver with anticipation.
But it's not my place to judge why people like a weird thing. I never do that.
Then what are you for?
Treachery to intellectual integrity.
Drooling, blithering idiots.
Absolute moral chaos.
What the f*** is wrong with you? What the f***?
What I'm saying is the planet's on fucking fire.
Patient.
Life is chaos of nothing.
Life is sacred.
Welcome, everybody. This is... I forgot my own intro. Hi, welcome, everybody. This is Spider. What is your name, good sir?
I'm Thomas Wood.
I got your logo on the corner, too,
Also
and
known
all
as
your
the pyrojuggler.
links.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the freaking the Deviant, the one and only podcast about freaking deviant behavior. Anything and everything that makes you feel uncomfortable, make you feel like an outsider to regular society. That is exactly what we like to talk about. So
that's pretty much my entire life.
That's exactly why you're here, good sir. Technically, you're not here. I am here.
Welcome to my abode.
Back in your land.
It's
We have this mobile camera here. In a little bit, we can actually take a nice 360 of
right.
You know, the area we're sitting in, so people can experience what we're experiencing over here. So we're here.
Eating an otter pop because it's freaking hot out here.
Please tell me I don't. I'm about to fix that. It's live now, friends only. God damn it. I'm fixing it, sorry.
Watch as this man fixes his podcast.
You fuck your shit up, babe.
Watch in amazement while he techs. Observe the teching.
All right. So please share. on that note, the Facebook link is now public.
Welcome, this is Spider.
Hey, this is the thing. You need to have an understanding. Every single podcast has a fuck up.
Oh yeah.
Every episode you've been in, you witnessed it.
Dude,
there's a fuck up in every episode.
When we were doing
natural.
it, the first like 5 or 6 podcasts we did, they had an interruption by wildlife.
What? How?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't, not like we can plan that crap, but we had deer walk into the frame. We had like hummingbirds like dive bomb us. We had
that's amazing.
We had stuff.
So speaking of stuff, weirdos as we are, you are a successful juggler or pyrojuggler.
Oh,
but that in my opinion that implies you juggle fire, which is a very small part of your act, right?
Well, okay, I can juggle fire, but in my act, it's actually that I'm a juggler and fire eater. But
so you're a pyromaniac, but a juggler too.
I was looking for
correct?
a name when I put this thing together that would be like easy to remember.
This would be like a
get me out there. So that's what we came up with.
So if you stick around, everybody, we're going to try to get him to do some of his act live here.
I'll do just a very little bit. Actually, what I'm going to do is something that's not in the act.
Oh, dope.
But we'll play.
We
like
just
really
learned
close.
5 minutes ago there's a burn ban where we are. So let's go in public and just do something on fire.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Because fuck the police or whatever.
We're not making a fire. We're doing it's a torch.
Does it count
It's
if
a
you're?
fire performance.
Does it count if you're the thing burning?
It's just performance art.
Like I don't think they ban tiki torches.
And there's no spontaneous human combustion.
That's because white people use them.
Yeah. Oh.
Exactly.
Too soon? My bad. Is that what the fuck are you drinking? I thought that was like to pour
Just
into
water?
cups. That's just
No,
you
that's
sipping
my
out
mug.
of this water?
That's my mug.
Holy shit! Anybody saw that? My mug just brought a fucking Viking.
Dreamy's actually
For those of you just listening, he
Yeah.
just brought
Okay, so this
what
is
that,
probably the
half a
last
gallon?
time you're going to see it like unmarred and unmarked, because Dreamy has said for a long time that she's
Did you
going
see
to
that?
take an engraver.
Yeah,
And
that totally does look pretty bad.
yeah,
I just opened this and it squared on me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That was part of
you got excited.
it. My bottle of water's happy to see me. Oh god, are the comments turned off somehow? Can you comment?
Hi again, public.
Hi again. Oh yeah, we got a comment. Tyler Rickson.
Maybe it's just me. My Facebook feed.
Yeah, somebody just tagged someone else on it, and that's interesting. But yeah, so
I can hear, I can watch. I sent you a comment.
fantastic. There's your comment test.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yep, it pops up.
All right.
Excellent.
Closing my
So you're a performer. Hi. Hi, Rebecca.
Hello.
Thank you for watching.
Love you too, even though I don't know you.
That's okay. Do me a favor. We gotta open the party favor.
All right.
There we go. We got mead.
Wait. This is hand therapy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
No.
Ugh.
Come on, Thomas.
For the record, this
God.
man had a
This is
motorcycle
actually-
accident that shattered
This
his
is
hand,
actually a
and he's
feat.
still recovering from that. He just came from therapy.
Belief.
Oof, nailed it.
Woo!
Hell yeah. That's the birthday boy. You want the first sip? Yes.
Kill
That's
the
so
pain in the
painful.
hand.
I wish we could advertise for Thorin, like just put his logo, like his website and shit. I'm not sure if he'd appreciate it. 'Cause
Well, I'm not sure we
this
can
show is
legally-
kind of filthy.
Well, also because
You
it's
think Thorin cares if it's filthy?
I was about to say, have you talked to Thorin ever?
well, not only that.
Not in
I think if there's
that's
if
good.
there's a chink in the armor, it's that it's alcohol and it'd be advertising alcohol. They get weird about that.
Right, we heard about that on Facebook.
Really?
That's true. Yeah.
It's not alcohol. It's water.
It's apple juice.
It's apple juice. Definitely. We're drinking.
I'm
apple
drinking
juice.
some honey water.
honey water. That's definitely what happened.
I've seen podcasts. Like our friend does a podcast and he drinks on it all the
Somebody
time. Says
named
what he's drinking.
we got Tucker saying this year sucks. I hope you guys are holding up. Or no, that's a question. Yeah, I hope you guys are. We're
Hope
holding
you
up,
guys are
dude.
holding up.
You're having some performance issues. Is that the perfect way of
It
wording
happens to everybody.
And
I had my hand. I'm a juggler, and I got my hand. I had my
Yeah, by the
hand
way, the
caught
microphone's really
between
good.
two vehicles about a year ago now, and gone through like 4 different surgeries. And as a juggler, that tends to slow you down.
and then the fucking the thing, the
Which
thing,
things?
the virus thing.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure
yeah,
we're not supposed to say it out loud, or we'll get turned down.
super therapied my way into being able to perform again. Like I had just gotten to the point where maybe, just
you were
maybe, I
about
could
to come
perform.
back to performing, and everything gets shut down.
And then that weekend, that like I was booked from that weekend all the way
That
through
was Sherwood.
mid-July.
Yeah, you were scheduled. We were supposed
Yeah,
to see you.
and I had booked every weekend all the way through like the middle of July.
Jesus.
And
then everything went to hell.
Everything went to hell.
Yeah, that's 2020 for you.
Yeah.
So, but so the thing is, like, you're once again, if you want to show
It
some
feels
love,
like it feels like we're breaking up with the past decade.
it really does. Like,
Yeah,
it's the season
it's-
finale of the world.
What do you guys
and
think?
Everything's ending.
2020 kind of feels like you're breaking up with the last decade. It's got all. It's there
It's
with
one
a
of those
vengeance.
meme breakups where you throw
Yeah.
shit at each other.
It's pissed.
It's bad. I thought 2016 sucked. But
You're treating.
Chicks that go for vengeance.
Yeah. It's like it thinks
the sugar in
it
their
thinks we're
water
cheating on
tank.
it with some 20-year-old.
that was a very specific thing to say.
Not that I'm bitter
So-
about the reaction of. An
So
accident.
again, one of the things that we sort of bonded on when we met is that we're both performers
Mm-hmm.
of a sort. I have very few like paid gigs in my background, but
you
I've
should
been
change
performing.
that.
I'm aware. It is
Yeah,
it
because
is
everybody's hiring for entertainment right now.
definitely, dude. How's your
Yeah,
gig
you're
going?
so busy.
I'm contracted
All right,
from the beginning of October through 9 weeks.
hey, dude, go ahead and plug your show if you want. You got
Yeah,
something
actually,
to-
I'm actually contracted at the Texas Renaissance Fair now.
there's Dreamy on the
If
comments.
they open, which all indicators are, we will be performing for, or I'll be performing for 9 weekends total, and it should go pretty well. I mean,
This is at Texas.
The Texas Ren Fair.
Renaissance Fair. Okay.
just outside of Houston, northwest of Houston, Plantersville area. So there's that.
Yeah.
That being said-
some money coming in and some.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, the feedback is which matters to me. Like if you perform, you
As
perform
you
on
know,
camera all day.
as you know, it's all about flight time, man.
Yeah, flight. Yeah, thank
You
you.
know,
We're
it's-
quoting Penn and Teller now.
Yeah, well,
It's, the
yeah,
more
it
hours
is.
you're on
That is
stage-
largely them, but it's
To explain that for those of you who have never heard this, Penn and Teller once described performance as an air pilot.
yeah.
When
Anytime you've got something that you're performing, you can rehearse at it all day or for years in front of a camera or in front of like other situations, but the reality of it is until you actually throw it in front of an audience and get the feedback between you and the audience, it doesn't do the same thing. And really what you need is about 2 months of that, like solid, and everything kind of clicks together.
I know for like stand-up comedy, that's
Oh,
a
absolutely.
must. You can't just practice
Yeah,
your
you
entire act in
can't.
front of the mirror.
And it's
a magician. I can.
Well,
I can do it in front of the mirror.
As a
in front of the
juggler,
camera,
okay, so my style of show is a lot like stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I consider your act very much stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I laughed more than I was like, ooh.
And that's on
but
purpose.
that's because I know that, you know, I mean, I know
Right,
the
well,
tricks
I
you're
mean,
doing.
people
They're
knew
fucking
that
hard, but
people knew that I might not get my use of my hand back and start hiring me again. Specifically
because they know that you have an act as a
because they know
word.
I'll come up with something. Although this definitely slows me down. Like there's things that I've practiced for tens of thousands of hours that I suddenly can't do. But you know, give me a little while, maybe I'll be able to do it. And honestly, what I'm doing on my Patreon, which you can look up.
It's on the link. Yeah, there's links on the description.
I'm doing like a recovery type of thing, like weekly posting as I'm working at different stuff to my like 12 patrons. There's not many of them, but I love you guys.
All 12 of you.
Yes. And yeah, that's the thing. And like I was saying to you, you need to put yourself out there with a few audiences that whether it goes well, whether you fail, you can just go, "Hachoo, bring me another audience," and then do it again.
It's like a pyramid scheme. That's what it is. It's a pyramid scheme of socializing.
Right. So you keep like performing it again and again and again and again. And it tightens up. Watching you forever. I mean, you've got the chops as far as magical goes. It's just it's pacing and getting it to aim somewhere, like why things happen.
Yeah,
and that's
tell a story with it, which is something I kind of picked up. Which is one of the things
Jeff
I wanted to show you.
McBride's really big on that too.
Yeah, and he does like no talking magic. He will do an entire like 5-minute just miming, I think it is, right?
Right.
With a mask, it tells a story. It's
I've been
insane.
meaning to get back.
It's definitely one of my inspirations, and I have an autograph. Like he misspelled my name, you know, because of course he did. So that sucks.
If we get a chance. Our framing is subpar.
I noticed that. I just didn't want to get up.
Right at the top.
Yeah, like his head's being blocked by live.
There we go.
There.
Much better. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Hey, there's a cameo by Kelsey.
Hey.
Everybody say hi to those titties.
Hi, titties.
Oh God.
Should I announce your?
Let's not.
Not
please.
okay. Oh yeah, that's fine.
Well, now I'm curious.
We'll talk about it off camera. So, what we're just talking about is something that I consider very interesting. Where do you find a line for a performer who is a freak that can do something extraordinary physically versus a magician who will pretend to have that ability?
Well, okay. Now, honestly, this is purely an academic question because when it comes down to it, as an audience member, it comes down to were you entertained?
Well, yeah, an entertainer is an entertainer is an entertainer.
Right. Whether they're throwing out magic, whether it's real or whether it's imagined.
But if you think of a performer like Penn and Teller or James Randi versus Uri Geller,
well,
you know
so there's freak and geek magic, which
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with, and for you audience members out there, that had to do with like old school sideshow and stuff. And a lot of times it wasn't necessarily magic or deception; it was people actually doing something that was
like contortionists.
Yeah.
Or like people claim Houdini could dislocate his shoulder,
Right.
which to this day I have no idea if that's true anymore because it's lost in the myth. Because it could very well be that he could dislocate his shoulder to get out of a straight jacket.
My dad's
he used that other technique where you kind of have it loose. And he's visiting.
My dad had this place in Laurel Canyon that he lived for the longest amount of time, and our neighbor was Houdini's old place. Like we lived directly next to it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is so dope. Speaking of your dad, we have a painting here.
Oh, yeah.
So his birthday's coming up. When's your birthday again?
August 25th.
So in 4 days, right? You're about to turn. You want to say it? You don't
I
have
will
to.
be 51.
51.
Ancient.
So one of my favorite things that like, you know, talking to you and stuff is like how much love you have for your dad that inspired you to be.
Pop was great.
You know,
miss him.
inspired to be funny and took you to Rents Fair for the first time.
Yeah.
Right? Those are the things
Yeah, both.
you mentioned. And this right here, you want to hold it here. Yeah.
And he did a bunch of artwork. Unfortunately, a lot of it got stolen just before he died, so this is one of the only pieces we've got left.
There is a Facebook memorial page that has a bunch of the...
Facebook memorial?
Yeah, for his dad.
Can we throw a link on there later? Or
yeah, if you want to put it in the comments, that'd be great.
It has a whole bunch of photos of his missing paintings.
Oh, that's so if somebody might find them later, and they might come back.
Too. They're like 8 feet tall.
Holy shit. But yeah, this one right here, you showed it to me, and I'm like, that's fucking cool. And then you told me it was your dad's, and I'm like, I can make that into a shirt, which I intended to bring that to you as a birthday present.
Aww.
A shirt with your dad's painting on it.
Appreciate it.
But another thing that I realized after other conversations that we had last time you were here is that you're colorblind, which very much likely means you probably don't see that painting the way it was intended to be seen. Is that correct?
I don't know. How would I know?
You want to start?
So, the painting is green and red.
No, I'm in the video.
Start the video?
Yeah, you want a video?
Right now. That's literally what I'm doing.
Gotcha.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Wait, it's not blue?
It's not blue.
No, honey, it's not blue.
It's actually not just blue, no.
It totally looks blue to me. It always
I had a
has.
feeling. So here's what's going to happen. Last time I was here, I showed you a test so you can test for your thing, right?
Yeah.
And I told you that there are glasses that correct this. So we're live on the podcast, and I want you to open them because they're here with me.
Oh, God.
This right here, I want you to open them, put them on.
This is so sweet.
The moment you have them on, I want you to this be the first thing you look at, so you can see the intricacies of color that he put in here.
I'll never be able to
that
step
you
up
never
to
saw
this.
it. And after this, if you want to, this is something I know how beautiful you think your land is. It's prettier than you think it is, because it probably doesn't look like the way it looks to us. So after we did the test, we kind of know what your deficiency is on the cones of your eyes. So I ordered the glasses that correct.
I'm not sure if
for
Dad
that.
was colorblind or not.
It doesn't look like it, considering the color.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shading and the color, it's really well done.
So as soon as you put those on,
Has to be inherited from the woman.
this is what that really looks like.
Oh, wow. All right, there's a lot more reds and a lot more
Greens.
and yellows.
There's a lot of color in there that you're probably missing because it's very
Holy
much
shit, Dad.
subtly mixed into each other.
Oh, considering this was all done with a Bic pen.
Yeah, they're big pens. I can tell that.
Yeah.
They're just colored pens. But the amount of detail that he put into that,
it's like
I
way
know
more
that
detail.
fades between colors tend to be disappearing for colorblind people.
Your skin color is way different.
Look at my pants.
Pants are kind of the same,
For the
but your
record,
skin is way different.
She didn't pull her pants off camera, by the way. Her pants are red, so he probably never seen them. That you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's immediately going to look around.
Everything around you is not what it usually looks like, is it?
Yeah, like the browns are different than I'm used to seeing them, which I'm assuming
Which, by
are
the way,
browns.
came with this balloon, so you can see the actual. Because here you have subtlety, but this right here is like the colors of the rainbow in actual bright plastic, so you can. There's no fading there, so you can see the difference.
Wait a second. Okay, so
You have any confusion as to which one's which?
orange, right?
Yep.
Red.
Yeah. I'm assuming those are the ones that you probably have an issue comparing before.
Purple?
Did you just ask that?
Yeah. And
You've never
blue.
seen like this particular hue?
Well, I have, but it's usually not. There's usually not this much of a difference between the.
Blue and purple?
Yeah. Like my
That's the
things
red
definitely look different.
I think he's a little overwhelmed.
This would be so much easier to hunt with during.
Okay.
Yes, that was kind of the purpose of human seeing color was hunting, actually.
Just pick some fruit. Oh wow!
You just pick the randomest thing in front of them. That's the same color as your phone case. The little green line around it is the same color.
So normally green is my favorite color, but I'm not used to seeing it like this.
So green is not your favorite color.
Oh well, it's still my favorite color, but it's more vivid. Wacky.
Yeah, he always said the colors were just kind of muted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very
What
often
colors
what it is like.
Do you usually not be able to tell the difference between?
Orange and red is what he just said.
Red and brown.
And then purple and blue apparently he never seen before. He said they're never
But yeah,
that different.
that's usually.
Take your glasses off.
Yeah, you want to compare?
Like, how his immediate reaction is to blow up the
Yeah. Okay. So I can't see the color there, and now I can see the color difference.
So they look alike without the glasses? That's fascinating. Because I thought it was more around the reds, but I guess that's basically red with purple.
No, these look
red and blue.
like pretty much exactly the same when I'm not wearing
Jesus
this.
Christ, that's bad, dude.
And then I wear this.
Yeah, you have a
and-
very strong, I think it's called strong Duton that we found out that was your thing. It's pretty much the worst it can be. You're missing like 2 counts.
Yeah.
The sensitivity
so
of 2 counts is missing.
That's way different.
What about
No.
the orange and the red?
Orange and red, I can totally tell these.
So here is the biggest test. You've been performing with fire for a very, very long time. Do you know what
I
fire
can still
looks
see
like?
the difference, but these are like really different. To my knowledge,
So,
I know what fire
I'd like
looks
you to pull out the torch and do part of your act
Yeah.
with those on. And
Alrighty.
see if you can see the difference on fire.
Uh,
Because that's what I'm very
Watch
curious
fire be
about.
intimidating as shit now.
yeah. Those of you,
It might very well be why you're not afraid of fire, because it
Well-
doesn't look like scary like it does to us.
well, those of you that have never seen me do this before, I cannot stress enough how this isn't exactly a magic trick. Remember we were talking about freaking geek magic and how some things kind of cross over.
Would you
geek
like
magic.
the zoom in camera, or are you good with that for the one?
Yeah, let's start here now while I'm talking, then we'll go in for a zoom while it's there. You want to turn off that fan?
You have a lighter?
Yes.
Yes, it's right here.
The thing with freaking geek magic is that it's often based on something you're actually doing. The real trick to fire eating is that it's not a trick. I really am taking a large flaming skewer and ramming it down my throat. I'm not saying it's a smart act, I'm saying it's an act. That being said, I'm not going to do much of it here. This is just a teaser, so perhaps if you see me and maybe see where I'm performing or something, you come and see. Because also I don't want to spoil any of it. Although, to quote, a line that I do use during my show, as long as there's been written record of there being there being a juggler
Village.
and a village. Yeah, sorry, I completely screwed that up. You know what's distracting me is I'm seeing colors.
He can't focus.
I made him perform in the middle of discovering some.
Yeah,
part
I
of the
know,
world.
I know. It's like this
this is
weird.
that,
But this is, but honestly,
There's been a village.
As long as there's been a village with
There's been a
access
village
to fire, there's been some village whack job willing to eat it. I'm that
well,
whack
interestingly
job.
enough, again, this is part of the experience. I want to see what you look like,
Now,
how you think
okay,
fire
so
looks
I've-
like.
Well, that's when he like freaks out at it.
Oh, whoa, that is way different.
Thomas the pyrojuggler sees fire
For the first time.
Okay, that is very,
Nope.
very
Distracting.
different.
Don't hurt yourself because
I'll
it's
try.
distracting now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, those of you that don't know,
Was that scarier than usual?
it's different. This
It's pretty.
Oh, Jesus.
Don't
I had a mustache.
Don't burn your glasses.
Yeah, don't burn the new glasses.
Yeah. You don't know what kind of chemicals are on those glasses. Woo! Clap, clap, clap.
Ooh.
That was amazing.
Does it taste hotter?
Does it taste hotter?
Yeah.
There's meat and water, son. Like, you gotta.
Hey, do me a favor, baby, and grab me a Coke from inside the
cold
small
ones.
trailer.
Now you need that ice pop.
Oh, I totally burned my lip a little
Yeah,
bit.
I saw it.
Oh, we
Yeah.
should
Took
have
a
had
little
him
too
look
long
at
in
one
there.
without the glasses, and then
I mean, he knows what it looks like without the glasses. I'm sure he memorized the look of fire by now. But it's again.
That is very different.
Yeah. Now you get to see what we see.
Like
when we see
unexpectedly,
fire.
like I underestimated how much different that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's things I want to try.
Yeah. No. As soon as we're finished here, we need to take a walk on your land again, and you get to re-experience how
Yeah.
pretty everything here is, because it's very pretty.
Yeah, especially
for the
with
record,
like
I'm gonna-
we're heading towards sunset and everything.
Yeah.
so
Oh, the
it's-
sunset is gonna be the coolest.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. So I'm gonna do a quick thing here where I'm gonna show the other camera and show people kind of what our setup looks like. Let's turn this one off, and there you are.
That's me drinking some mead. Getting rid of the fire pain.
That's his hot tub over there. That's Kelsey filming us over there. That's
Strategically placed.
Strategically placed. There's Joe over there. And we got like this beautiful, amazing background he's got going on here.
It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck. It most definitely doesn't. But yeah, this is what he's surrounded by. He's basically in the middle of the woods here. And by the way, this thing right here is a sauna, right? So you have a hot tub over there and a sauna behind here. You got basically a spa just built into your
Well,
into
I
your
work
land.
on helping people heal too. So.
Yeah, that's your side business. Could you describe what that process is like when you heal people?
I can't.
You don't
legally.
Have to. Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
But I help people out.
All right.
It's one of those people come to me hurt and they leave not hurting as much.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is.
You're excited?
Wacky.
Very. In a little bit, I might make you do the test again and see if you pass it with flying colors now. Flying colors.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
So I mean,
I'm
even the fake plant up here with the rose and everything looks completely different.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtle colors in your land, period, that you probably be missing. You have to be.
Yeah, I imagine fruit picking is way different.
Yeah, it's gonna stand out.
The fire.
It looks like a video game when things glow at you.
Yeah, the fire has a lot more like reds and oranges in it than.
Yeah, and what I'm excited to now, and definitely we'll make a video of this. You should do that too, like a selfie live thing or something.
I did not know that this would be this
sunset.
much of a difference. I thought it'd just be like a regular filter.
Oh yeah, it's fascinating when you've never perceived something. How you don't know how much you're missing until the moment you see it.
It's like I've perceived it,
You're still in the truck.
but not in a. It's like
Yeah,
I've,
look at that can, Thomas.
Let's advertise. Why not?
It's not like I haven't perceived so far. I haven't seen a color that I haven't perceived. It's just that everything.
It pops now.
Yeah, like way more brilliant. Like fire was comparatively flat.
I knew that because this is something I kind of like. This is one of the things that came to mind right away. Fire has a lot of hue changes that are not lines, right? It's a fade.
I bet this would help a lot during blacksmithing.
Am I? Yeah. Oh yeah, that actually makes sense.
How about your show sign?
Oh.
Oh, you're gonna get to see your show shine. Should we?
Upside down.
Let's show it over there here.
Somehow it looks more three-dimensional. That's
Oh
weird.
yeah, because the letters stand out now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. This is weird.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I can't wait to take a walk around your land and see what pops at you.
Well, I'm willing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely gonna be part of the experience today.
We're just gonna have
Again,
to, like, swap over to a phone.
it's one of those things where I'm very much when it comes to gifting, I'm
Thank
more of
you.
a giving an experience, a feeling, an emotion,
Yeah,
things
I
like
mean-
that. Which is a performer, you kind of see that perspective.
When's your birthday?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
I'll tell you later.
I got a good one. You know why?
Why?
Because you missed my party.
Ah, you bastard.
Wait, no, he didn't. He missed his party.
Missed
No, he missed his own party. We threw a party for you and you didn't show up.
Yeah.
I tried.
But then you died like the next day, right?
Yeah, I got hurt.
It was within a week that you had the fucking accident that ruined your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
was-
God, that was a year ago.
that's exactly what happened. Yeah, it was a birthday party. He didn't want to
What
drive.
date was that? September.
September 9th was the day of the accident.
And we had a party for him like the weekend
I
after
was
his birthday.
I was gonna head out and then.
Yeah, because we went to Belize.
But
yeah, I remember that.
But there was
for his birthday.
a bunch of stuff that turned out where I was gonna have to pull it off on the motorcycle and I just wasn't up to it.
Yes.
So I was trying to build myself up back on a motorcycle again, and then this happened.
And the accident happened.
Um,
So yeah, that's crazy how quickly time just goes.
now
it's
yes and
like
no.
only known you for what, a year and a half?
As far as like dealing with this seems like I've been dealing with it forever.
Not yet.
But
We'll get there. We'll get there.
yeah. But it's better. It's better than it was.
But yeah, I'm really excited that you get to see that. To me, that was one of the things that was in my head. That painting that your dad has, because I have I have an HD picture of it that I put on the
much
shirt.
different.
Yeah, it has so many colors in there that you most likely wouldn't have seen. So that's pretty exciting.
To me it looked mostly blue.
Get you to see it for the first time.
She's gonna go get the cat.
The cat. Yeah, we
Cat,
can't.
we
We
haven't
gotta.
seen a cat's colors.
I have not seen the cat.
Oh, you don't know what your cat looks like. That happened.
She
You know
looks
what's
like my
that YouTuber?
Okay, so there's this weird thing where to me, and I don't know why this is, but the cat has always appeared slightly green.
Oh, that's not remotely close. No.
Yeah, she's definitely.
Well, the thing
not
is,
green.
you don't know what green looks like. Green is probably a dim
No,
color
no.
too.
To me, the cat, and it. I don't know if it's a thing where it's a bond between me and the cat or whatever, but like, no, I
Totally, yeah.
and it's the only cat I perceive as green.
Oh. So you're just painting it with. Well, there are those people that can see like a color. I mean, a letter would have a color.
Yeah,
Or a taste.
synesthesia or something. I've also
Yeah,
seen
that's
it
the
with
thing that
like
happens.
energy work, which I
Those
didn't.
people very
I didn't
often-
think that was a thing, right? For a long time, I was very skeptical of it. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then my friend Kat was working on me one time when I was emotionally all messed up. Kitty.
Our little harness.
Let's see what your cat looks like here.
My friend Kat, who's actually a healer. She's no,
Not that way.
don't
Fuck this,
jump
I'm out.
off,
Here.
Kitty. Hi, you look different. How are you? Gonna make you dance.
Live on camera.
Maybe
Everybody
make you
loves
dance
kitties.
Slowly. Hate the slow dance. Hate it.
You're okay. Come on.
All right, go for
Come
your
on,
walkie.
baby. Let's go
What
for
do you
walks.
think? What do you
This
think
way,
is your
this way,
cat
this way, this way.
green still?
This way, this way.
Slightly more orangish than
It's actually orange. Yeah.
Okay, go for
Orange
it,
and
go
black
for it.
is the color of the.
yeah.
That is so cool.
So, what was I saying?
Your
Oh,
friend
anyways,
cat.
my friend Kat
Yeah.
was working on my back, like sitting me down, like putting me on a table, and doing legitimate massage work on me, and she's focusing, and I figured it was like cars going by or something that was reflecting, yellow across the room, and because it had that sort of camera obscura feel or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was just like stripe after stripe of yellow, and then I noticed that it was happening in the shadows too, and
What?
then she closed the window and it was still happening, and I was like, oh, I've heard of this. I didn't think this was a thing. Well, now I have to switch my paradigm.
Oh man. Which is again is similar. Again, I figured this has got to be similar to the people that get that implant to hear for the first time.
Right.
That
The
they've never heard
cochlear
a cochlear
thing.
implant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got a thing where like I can sense key flow.
Key flow. I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so as a martial artist and as a healer, it comes in both. If you do like more massage work than you think you have to, eventually your hand just kind of goes to exactly where you've got to go, right?
Okay.
And you feel it, and eventually, you think that it's you just feeling up where the muscles is or where you know where it's going to be, but eventually, like you run into someone that you haven't met before, and your hand immediately goes to where they're messed up, and then after a while, you start doing that more and more, and it gets to the point where, for me, I had to sit there and examine, well, what am I feeling? Because I'm reaching to the spot that they're messed up before I look.
Or before they tell you what
Right.
it is.
And then Master Kim had us do this thing with a watch where if you listen to
I just read that last comment.
What?
See it?
In your perspective is an amazing gift.
Awesome job, freak.
So,
how do you know I'm not the deviant and he's the freak?
but he does this thing where like he takes a watch and you take the ticking of it and you bring it to the very edge of your perception.
Okay.
And you sit there and you concentrate and you think about it and you examine it for a very long time, and then you move it an inch away and sit there and work on it until you can perceive it still, and then it's cat fur.
Oh, I was
And
like,
then-
you are not growing knuckle hair that long.
I'm growing another cat there,
Get the cat away. God.
just butting it off my.
I just saw the thing. Well, the thing, like, I'm only 33, and I had a white hair coming out of my ear.
Yeah.
How-
Welcome
how's
to the
that-
welcome to the
Is
club,
that a
buddy.
thing that just
Oh no,
happens?
yeah. It's not just a thing. In India, it's considered a sign of wisdom.
Of course.
Like
it
they
is.
cultivate it.
They put wax like your mustache.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not kidding. Look it up, dude.
Make it.
Oh, he hates it
Little
because
break.
we're driving and I like zoning
She wants
in
to
on
pull
my
it
hair,
out.
and I'm like,
Don't pull it out. Groom it.
no, I want to
No.
rip it out.
It's like, oh,
Gross.
you look so wise.
No, I want to grab it and yank it.
I don't
like,
understand that. No, I don't want to be wise.
It's an ingrown mustache.
Is it? Oh shit.
Anyway, so
There's definitely.
so wait, get back to what I was, because it actually goes somewhere.
Yeah.
So you do this thing where you take the watch and you'd bring it slightly further away from you until you could perceive it from further and further distance. Eventually, it could be like under the bed, and you can still hear the watch, or across the room, or in the next room.
You're just kind of tuned into that.
Eventually,
sound,
like across the street or whatever. Now I have.
See, that's like a magic trick, but then.
But it's not. It's what we're, and this will make a good segue. But I also have a friend that's a sonar tech. Actually, Kat's ex-husband. He's a sonar tech. And he'd have a ringtone on his phone, so he spent years underneath our waves and other people's waves, listening for like Russian subs and stuff. So for his ringtone on his phone, he has the sound of a Russian sub, and that thing will go off. And I've seen him across the street, across
someone who experienced it.
Yeah, he's like across a busy street in Salem, Massachusetts, up a ladder. Traffic's going in between the two of us. It's not loud. We're inside. I hear it go off inside, and I look across the street, and Jim's doing his thing. He's like,
motherfucker. He just noticed it from across the street.
Yeah, but Jim would also do like stuff where like he got to the point where he'd pass something, like if I'm putting my face past this microphone, he'd hear the blank spot where that microphone, like the sound coming from different stuff, is being absorbed or reflected differently here, and so it becomes this passive sonar thing.
It's a great experience for the podcasters.
His
listening.
So his ability to perceive started to become just this side of superhuman, and we use that in our defense department. We actually have men like that, and they're pretty much all like that. They call them bubbleheads in the Navy.
Bubblehead.
Well, they do, because they've got these. They've got these big
what you can
things.
train a single human to do, or
right.
Just by practicing over and over.
Now back to what I was saying was that so for massage work, you deal with this thing where you've got this sense that most people never get a hold of, where they're working on people's muscles. Now, to be fair, my ability to do it goes up and down, depends on the day, and I think that's probably the same with everyone's senses as far as a lot of stuff like that goes. Stuff where you really have to train for it, but. So I started working on it so that I'd reach my hand towards where they were injured, and you could feel it almost like a little bit of heat coming off their body, and then you'd go in and you'd play with it.
Of that, and I think it was in House, and I think we saw another TV show somewhere that a cat would predict the death of someone, and it was actually sensing heat. Someone who had a fever before dying, the cat would sit next to them, and of course, they would die the next day.
You find out it's just a
the cat. Yeah,
you find out it's just a murderous cat.
People like superstitious that if the cat lays
Killer
next to
pussy.
you, you're gonna die. Oh fuck! I almost dropped shit behind me.
But so what that ends up being is like using Master Kim's same thing. I started working on it so I could perceive it from further and further away, and eventually it becomes something where you see it almost like. See, quote unquote, you feel it almost like an overlay on your own vision. Okay. So you see where people are injured, you see where they're fucked up and all that. It just
glows at you like a video game?
Kinda.
Except you video games that, I don't know if you play video games, but
you can also do it in the dark. Like I can be somewhere in the dark. I've done this, and I've got an advantage over most people.
It reminds me of, there's a show called Psych. Very much another spin-off of like the Sherlock Holmes ability, right? And apparently like his dad just like tortured him, treated him like shit until he memorized everything in the room. It was like, close your eyes, and it was like, how many hats are in the room? And they're in a bar.
They did that to Master Kim.
And it's like this, yeah, like it was like a dad being abusive.
No, like seriously, Master Kim's teacher, Jo Bong Lee.
Is what happened. Like it's amazing what you can learn from abuse.
Actually, what Master Kim did was. They were hiking around the hills in California, and they get to the bottom of it, and at one point Jo Bong Lee like brings out some matches, and he's looking at the matches and tells make sure that Master Kim sees it, and then they keep on walking, and they get to the bottom of the hill, like after walking for miles, and he turns to Master Kim and is like, all right, find the matches,
motherfucker.
And
but that you would agree that if your dad did that.
This actually goes.
Okay, go ahead.
So he spends like hours traipsing across the mountains looking for this match, like, and then it becomes a couple of days and he's just dying. And then he finally gives up, and Joe Bung Lee pulls it out of his pocket and slaps him across the head. He's like, "Pay attention."
Oh my god. That is a dick move.
It's totally a dick move, but it also
Why
had
is
a
it that
lesson.
some of the
embedded
best people
in it.
that I've ever met come from abuse? It's always like, daddy did this, daddy
Because
did that.
you end up having to take a dynamic assessment of not only your beliefs but your perceptions. Because you can't take, because you realize at some point you can't take anyone else's word for how things are.
What are you pointing at?
There's a mosquito on your hand.
Motherfucker.
So
I was faster than you.
Yep. So you can't necessarily take anyone else's word for how things are. So eventually you develop.
That goes into my phrase, analyze your reality, which is like print on everything I can.
Right.
Interesting.
I call it taking a dynamic assessment of your own perceptions.
But yeah, interestingly, on that same topic of the whole abuse kind of breeds like a weird talent for something strange.
Mm-hmm.
Press play on that video there. I want your reaction on this. This is
I think I've seen
who is
this
this
a
guy?
long time
Carson?
ago.
I don't actually know.
That's Letterman.
Letterman.
You don't know who David Letterman
I'm
is.
so sorry,
God damn,
dude.
I'm feeling old.
I wasn't alive then. I just.
Those of you that are my age.
He's watching a Letterman clip from a performer called Stevie Star. That always made me. Again, this is one of the things that made me. What do you call it? Question whether or not this is a magic trick or he's just a freak that knows how to do something very strange.
Well, there's
And
also
he
a
claims
crossover.
it was.
Yeah, no, this is exactly who I thought it was.
He claims to be because he was in an orphanage. He had to swallow his change so that the kids wouldn't take it from him, because he had bullies that would take his money away.
Huh.
So he would swallow.
Now, how did this begin? Where did you start doing this? Why did you start doing this?
Well, I was 18 years in an orphanage, and when you get pocket money, you had to give the staff savings for summer holidays. I was greedy, and I used to swallow it, and they would come and say, "Happy birthday."
At least you put it in this direction.
So I'd go into the
What do you mean? Oh, as opposed to the prison trick.
I've got $80 in pennies.
Well, see, most of the tricks, I believe, could be done by holding the items somewhere in your mouth. Now, as every magician knows, you put something in your mouth, you can't talk straight, but he continues to talk. Something I noticed right away, even that young, he's missing a lot of teeth. It looks like he only has like the front four, and everything else is gone. If he has
I watched this live.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh. If he, for some accident in childhood, he missed some part of the jaw.
Yeah.
The jawline. He could
People over
theoretically
about
hide something in it.
People about 40 years plus mostly watch this live.
Well, again, I thought he was an obscure performer that I never saw make
he
it
was.
big, and he was in America's Got Talent like 2015, I think.
Right.
And I found some more modern clips of him, way older, doing the exact same act, which means he never stopped. And the reason I just remember this, like I always had it in my mind, like there's this weird performer that I don't know how he does that thing. And then fucking Debbie Blaine brought it up on his on a podcast with Joe Rogan, and I'm like, holy shit, he knows the dude and has seen him perform. He knows what the act is.
You saw the thing I put out about like watching one of that guy's podcasts and my contribution, right?
Of who? No.
Rogan.
Oh no, I haven't.
I got to help on some.
Where are they? Are they actually in your stomach?
They're looking for
Wait,
Hitler.
he doesn't even believe him.
I'll tell you later. It has to do with the hunt for Hitler.
Oh shit.
we can do, like, we'd normally bring out the dates of
But it's
I'm
very
legit
interesting
working
how
on it.
very rarely do you see someone in a host position tell him directly and make fun of him, telling him I don't believe what you're doing is that.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe he swallowed any of that.
Well, okay, something that I always say, and you've watched me do this with one of my tricks, if you do something well enough, if you do something well enough, like truly well enough, everyone assumes you're faking it.
Okay.
Walk around me with water on my head.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen part of that's an experiment with people's psychology as you're passing them.
So, again, I want to know your opinion specifically on this. Is he swallowing that stuff, or is he hiding it?
I honestly don't know.
You have no idea? Okay. And would you consider that a magic act if he's faking it and then pretending to do it with his stomach? Because he gets a little Rubik's Cube, swallows it for the people that can't see what we're seeing, but he's got a little pocket Rubik's
There's no
Cube.
way he's got more than one of those in his mouth.
That's what I would think, that he has a duplicate. He pulls it back out and one of the sides is twisted, which he's claiming he did with his stomach, but that's absurd. Right now, could he swallow two fucking Rubik's Cubes and hold one in?
My guess would be that he did it with his tongue.
No, but where did he hide the other one? They're pretty much the size of a
I mean,
regular mouth.
like as you're bringing it in,
But
you
look,
brush it against your tongue and change it.
That's butane. This motherfucker just... He's hitting butane, which, if I'm not mistaken, is poisonous.
Yeah, see, some of this shit, the freaking geek magic will kill you.
Which is another guy that David Blaine named, the guy that swallows cigarettes.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, Matt something.
Well, I mean, it's part of my act, too. I mean, I tell him flat out, most fire eaters quit after about 5 years.
Yeah, that guy died of cancer from eating cigarettes.
And the thing is that I'm not
Look at what he's doing. He's claiming to exhale a cigarette smoke butane into a bubble, and it's flammable.
That can't be good to you.
That can't be possible.
No, it can be possible.
You can inhale butane and keep it in?
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to
do it.
That's fair.
But, I mean, if you can work past the chemical pneumonia and get it so that you swallow the air, or butane in this case, instead of breathe it in, because breathing it in would cause chemical pneumonia.
So he's swallowing it so it doesn't go in his lungs. It goes in his stomach.
Right. And then it's a variation on the same trick.
Strange. Because one of the things...
It doesn't make it less impressive, by the way.
Yeah, no.
In fact, it makes it more impressive.
Any way how he does it, I'm dying to know, and I would be equally impressed.
It might be...
Unless he's sneaking in a lighter into
much
his
like
mouth.
a lot of the things that I do, the real trick is that it's not a trick, but that is the trick.
Not knowing whether it's a trick or not is a part of...
right.
I think it's part of the performance.
And it might be, and it might not be. And if it's not... If it is... Okay, so look at it this way. If it is a trick... It's gnarly enough that professional magicians are sitting around going, what the fuck?
I know, exactly what... Yeah.
And if it's not a trick, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So either way this goes,
I don't know which one works, but
you have, instead of trying to figure out how he's doing it, which is natural,
yeah,
I think it's in some ways better to just...
We found berries.
Beauty berries? They're bright purple.
Neat.
Are they pretty?
They are. In some ways, I think the trick is to not appreciate it for to try to figure out what it does, but just to appreciate how kick-ass it is.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Again, you
kick-ass,
can
this is
appreciate
neat.
an act on the face of it.
Yeah, you
but
didn't
then
know how bright those berries were, did you?
No.
those are very pretty purple. I wish people could... Well, I can have a zoom-in camera. Hold on. Let me show you here. Boom. There you go. That's what it... That's grown in your land, right?
Yeah.
Yep, and they're ripe.
These are ripe?
Yeah, that's how they look when they're ripe, Thomas.
So
I'm not going to eat them.
Yeah, you can make wine out of the beauty berries.
Right,
Put
it's...
them in a
make
Welcome
wine
to
out of
Berry Roulette.
they're very
The poison, tasty. That's how these go.
I love how that's the best example of use of this camera. We got a fucking zoom-in camera right there. So there's like
It's
a... There's
all
like...
off the table. That's
So those are not edible, I'm
One
assuming?
more.
they're edible.
Oh, okay.
In theory?
Yeah.
In-
No, once they're purple, they're edible.
What if they're not purple?
Then they're not edible.
What if you can't see purple?
Then you shouldn't try them.
See, this is new to me. I'm not going to...
Oh, that's amazing. So you could have easily died if you were to be eating from nature.
Yeah, but
'cause
you see,
can't tell.
You can squish the
I
berries
just
in
decided
a
not to
cloth
eat them.
straighten
The what?
out
I just decided not to eat them.
Well, you're also in a generation where we can't technically survive without
See, a
feeding
deer,
off the
deer is always edible.
That's fair.
And
Actually-
every mushroom is edible once.
Can't see mushrooms.
Oh, fuck. I didn't see that joke coming. So...
Oh, we have an expert opinion over here on when you can eat a deer.
when,
Don't eat a female when she's in estrus.
All right.
What is estrus?
Try to resist the urge.
When they're in
heat.
When they're about to go in the heat, you get
So I guess I'll give her a good sniff in the field.
You'll smell it.
So if you I had heard before, you may correct me here, that if you hit a deer with your car, you're cracking the bones and that's no longer edible meat. Is that correct?
I know
there's pointers in
that
the meat now.
at a show that will remain nameless, but all of us were pretty poor.
Oh God!
We'd hear a screech of tires and a thump, and
you went and got the food.
I didn't, but I watched other people, and later there was venison. I didn't ask questions.
There was what?
Venison.
What was venison?
I didn't ask questions.
I didn't know that was the name of it. All right.
So he didn't ask
always
questions,
learn
but all of a
something.
sudden they were having venison for dinner.
I was also a guy that I helped.
Everything is edible, even edible. That's that's a quote from Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah.
It's like, even I'm edible, but that, dear my friends, is called cannibalism, and is in fact frowned upon in most societies.
It's true.
Yeah, that's a Willy Wonka quote.
Although me and an ex-girlfriend were both going at the same piece of bread once, and I ate part of her lip.
What?
Yeah, just a very small part.
I'm sorry. We're not going to jump over what you just said. Say that one more time in detail.
We're both like frantically
What did
going
you just
after
say?
the same piece of bread, and I inadvertently bit off a tiny bit of her lip and ate it.
How do you accidentally do that? Bread doesn't feel
We're
like...
really in character at the time.
Bread doesn't feel like lips.
Both of us were in character at the time.
If it was like a gummy or something that kind of feels like skin, I can see that. But bread doesn't...
What part of frantic were you not getting?
Jesus Christ. Alright, so that's the freaking Deviant. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry.
Hello, people.
We haven't been
Hey,
live
Alan,
in a while.
Hey, Alan
We
Hutton.
haven't
Hey,
been-
Catherine.
Yeah. Hey, everybody on the comment section.
Catherine Carpenter, impressed and horrified. At what? At what part?
I don't know what point that was said. We were not keeping an eye on the comments at all.
Yeah, it was our bad, guys.
Thank
our
you guys
bad.
for listening. Thank you for watching. And we're not done
Ooh,
yet. I'm just kind of
hey, look.
appreciating.
Nice breeze.
Yeah. If it starts raining on my equipment right now, I'm going to be very upset. The podcast is over.
Hacking up.
No, we got, let's see, we got 20 more minutes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to dance.
Looking up the weather right now.
Okay, thank you.
It's getting a little cloudy up there.
You haven't hit this much, have you?
A bit.
I'm much tipsier than you are. There's 2 more bottles waiting for us, son. So we got shit to get done.
Thanks, Thorin.
Yeah.
and Spider.
But, that's crazy. The Rubik's Cubes part.
Yeah, no.
So
They
know what we're talking about.
It's crazy awesome.
That he turned the Rubik's Cube with his stomach. But there's a trick he does, Stevie Star, where he swallows a lock, and then a key for the lock, and then a ring that he borrowed from the audience.
Right, I've heard of this.
And then he opens the lock, puts the ring through the lock, and
Wait, do we have to run for our lives?
No. There's a rain over there.
There's a rain. I love that.
Little rain.
There's a
That
rain.
way. I'm
Just
not
one
sure.
drop, frantically falling.
Yeah.
Which direction?
Let's get through the next 20 minutes, and we should be fine for the podcast. We can call it and go have fun. I'm sorry, this is kind of a job.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
But
I had okay. So, what's your favorite freak/geek magic stuff where it looks like magic and isn't?
Stuff that looks like magic that isn't magic. I actually don't perform anything like that.
No, but what's your favorite?
That I like as an
As a
audience.
consumer of
Something that everyone thinks is a magic trick, but it's really just doing it.
He doesn't like it. He bitches.
I mean,
I actually
there's-
don't like that stuff.
sword swallowers, fire eaters, you bastard.
I like stand-up comedy.
There's nothing fake about fire eating. I mean, unless you
No,
put it
I didn't.
on.
There's nothing fake about it. I didn't say it was fake, by the way.
Right,
I
right.
love wrestling.
Right.
And one of the most common things I get is, wrestling's fake. Like, no, they're really jumping off the fucking ladder and hurting themselves.
So ideally, what you'd
it's
have
it's not a real fight. But it's fucking
so
real.
what you ideally have is a couple of well-oiled men lighting themselves on fire and then wrestling.
I'll watch that.
There you go.
But I wouldn't consider it magic.
Okay, the specific of it is he doesn't like when they portray it as magic.
Yes.
I never do.
That offends me.
Exactly, and that's why he likes your show.
Because you're honest about it. You're like, I'm really doing this, really.
Right.
Except the one time that you do the thing
Right.
and milk it.
Right.
That trick pissed me off. But that's because
And that was the idea.
because somebody, yeah. somebody might think you're doing something amazing and you're not.
That's
but then you expose it on purpose.
Right.
So that's fair.
Right.
I give you that. But I hate it when somebody goes up there. This is something. This is actually a perspective from. I believe Teller said this from Penn and Teller.
It's weird.
He said, "I know you're still experiencing colors."
That was the best way to put that.
Weather Channel Red Rocket.
All right.
Oh, we're gonna get fucked, huh?
It's rising.
Rising.
It is.
Somebody's rubbing it wrong, or I suppose rubbing it right. But Teller once said that if a psychic is really a psychic and can read minds and blah, 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 why would you not want to... He said, to me, that's a magician who's not taking credit. Because he's doing the work. He's doing the hard work that is cold reading or reading a palm piece of paper, whatever the fuck it is that he's doing.
So what happens...
To pretend to be...
Okay,
but he doesn't get to claim credit. He gets to say, I just know naturally how to do that.
Paradigm shift, though. I mean, not that it's a thing, but just a suspension of disbelief. So what happens if it's someone actually doing something that you would perceive as a magic trick, and you later find out that they're actually doing it?
I wouldn't perceive it as a magic trick or not. I would perceive it, whatever they're presenting it at, I will accept you on your word.
Right.
But the moment you say it's magic and I know that it's not fucking magic, that pisses me off.
Right.
One of the biggest ones right now, by the way, David Blaine has 2 tricks, all right? And he's a magician who presents himself as a magician, who goes up there and grabs
in between. Really.
He grabs an ice pick and puts it through his hand. That's not a fucking trick. He's just doing exactly what he's saying doing. Right? But he's like, oh, it's a neat trick, right? You see how it's not bleeding? He's like, yeah, it's a very small needle. It's not going to bleed like a fucking scratch. But it's still, like, he's not doing a trick. He's literally saying, he does it here and he does it like on the bicep.
I wonder if he was a middle
child. He did it on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he made Joe Rogan push the thing. And
I wonder if he was a middle child.
I don't know what that means.
Look at me!
He once did it. He once did that exact same trick in front of Ricky Gervais, who's a known skeptic.
Right.
Right? And as he's doing that, you can hear David Blaine's voice on the special going, I knew I couldn't fool him with magic tricks, so I had to make him physically uncomfortable. So this is, like, he's literally telling you he failed at impressing him, so he's going to, disgust him with a real act of disgusting things to do. So he stabs himself with I think it was like an ice pick or something, right? He just stabs himself, and he's like, you see how it looks real? And he's like, what are you talking about? He's a liar. What do you mean it looks real? He's doing exactly what he says he's doing, and that's not a trick.
You know why? It's real.
He also on the Joe Rogan podcast, he exposed his own trick, because there's a trick. It's a trick. That's a real magic trick if you don't know the background of it. Right. Because he went on one of the night shows.
I know how to do like the needle through the arm thing too, but
there is a fake version of that. I know there is.
Which I've done.
Yes, I know exactly how that trick is done, and that's not what he did.
But I let them off the hook while it's happening, and it's
still
still disturbing.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking trick. There's a classic one where you grab like a knife and it looks like it's halfway through your arm, but then you can like, I think Amazing Jonathan did it, and he like cleans the blood. No, it's fine. There's no cut, right? And it like the knife is a special prop, whatever. But anyway, the thing is,
you ever see Harold and Maude?
Wait, Harold and Maude? No, wait, maybe.
All right, you gotta. I'm making you see that.
It's not ringing a bell. We'll watch it for sure. But
there is a point where like he chops off his hand in front of a dinner guest.
Like a fake hand on the. I don't know. But
his mom tries to set him up with dates, and he's not having it.
Hi Becky, how you doing? But yeah, so
I'm showing you Harold and Maude. God damn it.
I'm with you. I will watch it.
I mean, if nothing else, give me a jump drive. I'm giving it to you.
Yeah. But so the thing I was talking about, like, is at some point, I believe the David Blaine thing is when he pretty much admitted in a special published, people know this is now, that he failed at impressing a skeptic with magic tricks, so he did something horrific to make him react, just to get a reaction out of him. And I don't believe that's magic. Right,
well, it's something else.
Yeah, it's a performance art for sure. Oh, the trick I was just talking about. He went in one of the newer late night shows, and he like, oh, I'm going to appear a frog, and he said this, and of course, it throws a fucking frog out, right? Now he just went on the Joe Rogan podcast to show how he does it. He swallowed a gallon of water after 3 days of not eating, so his stomach is clean and empty. He swallowed a gallon of water in front of the cameras, then swallowed a frog, waited 5 minutes, and he said, I could probably hold it for like 3 hours before the frog is damaged. And then he throws up the frog, and I'm like, so that's the trick. There's no trick. He learned how to swallow a bunch of water and spit it back out with a frog in it, right? You just didn't see that first part that he probably did.
Did he claim it was a magic trick, or did he
on live TV? Yes, it's magic.
Did
He's
he just
a magician.
say what he was doing? All right, see, there's the fine point. Did he say, "I'm going to throw up
I'm going to appear a frog"? Yes,
and he did,
but he didn't appear it.
No.
There's a definition to appearing, and you know that is not it.
I think it's a gray area.
No, the frog always existed. That's the difference.
Yeah, the
But
frog.
you see what I mean,
the frog
though, like-
didn't exist in their perception.
Are we arguing about the definition of exist now?
See, Alan Hutton says Harold and Maude is an awesome film. And it's a fucked up film. I'll tell you that.
Wait. I've heard this. Is this the movie about a older lady with a younger man?
Yes.
We've talked about this in this podcast.
Oh, really?
Because Baymax wants me to watch that movie.
You should. I've got it sitting around.
We were talking about age gaps in relationships.
Yeah, no.
This is the podcast
it's
about like all
fucking
kinds of
amazing.
weird shit. And we were talking
If
about
anything,
age gap,
like
so
that,
Harold and Maude is
that
something he
kid
brought up
benefits greatly from said age gap.
from the age gap. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I believe what movie? I think it was
And
Big
arguably
Fish.
so does she.
Tim Burton's Big Fish.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? There's a thing where like a little girl that's like 8 years old and the guy's 18, and is like she's in love with him, and it's like it wouldn't be appropriate. It's like, but in 10 years I'll be 18 and you'll be 28.
Well,
and then in 20 years I'll be 28 and you'll be 38. That doesn't.
You know,
seem
at a
that
certain
big difference
age,
now.
you have to.
I was
date,
like, what?
At a certain age, if you live long enough, you have to date younger people.
Regurgitation is a stunt trick, not a magic trick.
There you go.
Stunt trick versus magic trick.
If you live long enough, you're forced.
Is that rain? I fucking hope not. But it is getting windy and cloudy, and I'm terrified. We have another 18 minutes left in this show.
If
it starts raining, we have to cut everything out. And,
if you manage to
Stranger's
survive,
frog.
if you manage to survive long enough, you're absolutely forced to date younger people.
Yeah. People, the thing.
I mean, think about like
I've had
your
that issue.
Methuselah or something. It's like, oh, she's 200.
My current girlfriend,
a younger
is
woman,
the only person roughly my age that
Right.
that has been interested in me. Most people that are interested in me are younger than me because I don't know why. I'm a performer, weirdo looking. I guess open-minded people tend to be younger.
Could be worse.
It could be worse.
Could be like sperm.
Oh God.
It's interesting.
Great thing to bring up, I suppose. Jesus Christ.
It's dating really young.
That young? But yeah, and the other thing I wanted you to react to and see what your thoughts are on this. It's David Blaine is back, which is why I was just talking about him. He was actually in the Joe Rogan podcast because he was advertising his new...
No, I saw a part of this.
Oh, you've seen part of it?
Yeah.
A part of the... Oh, he talked about it on the podcast, actually. He was talking specifically about this special that he's
I
about
didn't
to do.
see this part of it. I saw him talk about it.
Yeah, so he's talking about...
And talk about how many goddamn jumps he had to do in order
500,
to...
I think it was.
Yeah.
It's a jump of a plane.
Well, I mean...
listen and tell me what you...
Part of being a guy like this is how far are you willing to go?
But... And I don't... it's kind of hard to tell why he's doing it. Right? Because why would you put your body through it?
That's the gnarly one, the ice, where he starts to hallucinate.
Yeah, he
by
actually
the
started
end of it.
hallucinating. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an
and he's talking about how
endurance
his
stunt.
daughter saw his last stunt, and he's like, I can't do this anymore. For those, I don't know if you guys can hear the audio on the iPad here. He said that his daughter saw the last stunt. He's like, I need to do something to inspire her rather than scare her. So the idea that he's doing is grabbing a bunch of super big helium balloons and float through a rope. And something that he mentioned on the podcast is that because he wanted a picture-perfect moment, he's not going to wear a parachute. There's a parachute hidden in the balloons that he's going to...
Man, things look weird now without this on.
Yeah, of course. Now you feel actually colorblind.
It doesn't take your brain long to rewire.
Yeah. And if you're going to wear those all the time, yeah, you're going to be... But considering you spend a lot of time in the daylight in your land, it's going to be kind of a cool experience.
It's going to require a lot of work. I have to get 500 jumps out of an airplane, so I have a pro skydiver.
No, I'm assuming just like any other special, he'll be, that's the stunt, and you're going to go back and forth like Tarantino, and then it's like magic tricks he's been doing lately to celebrities and shit, right? I'm assuming that's usually
I remember
the
when,
structure of his
I remember when the guy went up in the lawn chairs.
Oh, hi, Sander. How you doing,
I remember
man?
when the guy went up in the lawn chairs during the 80s with the BB gun and a couple sandwiches.
That was a Darwin Award.
Yeah, I remember it happening.
Yeah, we can probably cut that. Like, you saw the imagery that was kind of
Yeah, and we laughed while it was happening because it wasn't funny. I mean, it was funny.
Was he live on something?
I was in the area.
No shit.
Yeah.
When was this?
L.A.
No shit. I did not know that.
No,
that was so for a little while I was obsessed with the Darwin Awards.
No, it was like the local news popped up and
oh my god. Do you know what the Darwin Awards are?
Yeah, no, I'm
okay, so he was a winner of one, and apparently there was another that was a double Darwin Award.
He went up again, didn't he?
No, he's a priest. He was a priest, which means he couldn't have had kids anyway. He was already eliminated from the fucking gene pool.
I'm just getting him closer to God.
So the idea of Darwin Awards is that you make the species better by killing yourself and not having kids.
Right.
Right? So particularly, there's an honorable mention usually for people that somehow lose the ability to reproduce. That's also a Darwin Award section because you can no longer reproduce.
Schrodinger's frog.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
It's pretty sweet.
Is it a magic trick or is it not a magic trick?
By the way, Alan Hutton, also a magician.
Oh, no shit. Well, hi, Alan. Nice to see you.
So, like, ask him, man. I mean, his opinion, too.
Yeah.
Because he's also a stuntman and also a magician. So, like, he's kind of the guy to ask.
Yeah. There was something I did recently. No, I don't care about exposing it. It's something weird that I came up with for the purposes of scaring people, right? So I work at a haunted house, and I was wearing a full silicone. The thing is, most actors wear like makeup or like just a face mask, but I'm so recognizable that, especially with makeup,
right,
that anything you put on me, I'll still look kind of like me. So people that, especially in Austin, Texas, know what I look like, will pass through the haunted house and go like, that's fucking Spider.
You gotta get you a linear frame.
That's not scary. So they give me a full silicone mask so that I can't be recognized, right? I look like a weird shaped fat thing.
Limited table magic only, but it's still a magician.
I mean, table magic is and it's also
kind of a pain in the ass. Yeah.
That's close-up magic, which is usually the hardest.
Yeah, you got to hang out with me and Alan.
The easiest is the fucking stage magic, where you just buy the prop and the prop does most of the magic.
Yeah.
I was just watching a video last night about David Copperfield was sued from a member of the audience that he disappeared. He does a disappearing audience trick, which is like 8-10 people in a box. And then basically some backhand people, like backstage people, will guide him through a tunnel and somebody back there slipped and hurt himself and supposedly got brain damage from sued David Copperfield. And because of this, they had to expose how the trick works in court. So that's just public knowledge now, how that trick works.
Suck.
Which, like, and it's like, there was on the news clip, this is like, it's not known yet if that trick is going to remain in his head. It was like, fucking no! He just, he had to expose it in public court. He's never going to do that trick again. Well, nobody should.
Well, I mean, the way that he should do it, if he ever does it again...
Change the way he does it?
So that it's absolutely impossible to do it, so people are left going, like, trying to justify it.
They'll think how the trick is done, and then...
Right, and then they're looking at it going, wait a minute.
That reminds me of... you ever saw Penn and Teller go to, I think, some Middle Eastern country? I don't know what country it was, but... Was it India, maybe? There's a special that Penn and Teller went and visited overseas.
Did they go to like the fakirs and stuff?
They went to the performers, the street performers that did magic. And there is a guy that did the cups and bowls, but his own personal routine. Yeah, and that dude doesn't look like he's doing much. So the trick, and then you see a clip of Teller reacting to this. It's like, that guy completely fooled me. but he didn't know it because I didn't give him the correct response. So here's what happened. The trick goes that he puts 3 cups in front of the table. Everybody knows that routine. He grabs 3 balls and shows one ball under each cup. Shows one by one and shows and teller goes, okay, there's 3 balls in each. Right? Now, he said, I saw him do the moves. That he was stealing, when he lifted the first cup, he lifted the ball. And then when he lifted the second cup, he put that ball on the middle one. And then when he lifted the third one, he drifted it. And then he just randomly picked up the middle ball from his side, seemingly sneaking the third ball. So the 3 balls should be in the middle cup now, right? Teller saw the moves he used to do that. And then the guy asked how many balls are in each cup. And Teller's like, I'll be nice to this guy. I'll play the fool here. I'm just going to tell him, oh, there's 1 ball in each cup. Right? And he goes 1, 1, and 1. And the guy lifts the cups, and there was 1 ball in each cup. And he said, to anybody that's watching, nothing happened because he said he showed one ball under each cup.
To someone
and Teller saw him do the fucking move, stealing the ball from one cup, stealing the ball from the other cup, and putting it in the middle ball. So he was certain intellectually
I know what's going on.
that the ball was in the middle. That dude was pretending to do the slides.
I know what's
going on. And
going
Teller was completely like, oh no, I saw him do the move, and he didn't fucking do it.
How much actual street performing have you done?
A lot.
Okay, so here's the thing. Are you able to...
I'm not sure I'm allowed to say but it's the biggest haunted house in Texas. Or I think in America.
On the streets.
No. He's asking me what haunted house I work on.
Okay.
I'm not sure I'm allowed to publicly say that. But it's...
you advertise them. How terrible.
Well, it's not that. It's that this show is R-rated.
Okay.
And yeah, they're like a family entertainment thing. So... but it's just look at the biggest haunted house in Austin, Texas. You probably find it. It's pretty common.
So, I want your perspective on this.
Okay.
As a street performer, do you automatically know when someone walks up and they're another performer?
When somebody what?
When someone walks up and they're another performer.
Yes.
So do I.
It's very instant. Yeah. They react at everything differently.
And there's nothing you can point at directly that is the dead giveaway.
Oh no! It's a subtle.
But sometimes
it's a subtle detail.
It's the same thing as a martial artist. Someone walks up and they've got some training. They've been training for 10+ years, and if you've been doing the same thing, you can frickin' spot it. And in fact, there's actually sections of certain stealth arts like taijutsu, stuff like that, where they specifically train not to tell it. So they train to be just clumsy enough.
Oh, I see. Well, and that is actually a technique in magic where you purposely will drop a... the magician that I was just talking about that swallows the cigarettes. I was just looking at his act. He's a really old thing. He was in one of the late night shows.
I've seen him.
He swallows 20 cigarettes.
I'm familiar with... I've seen him live once when I was a little kid.
David Blaine said that's the only magician that has done a card trick, and he was crying watching it. And it's like, holy shit, I've never seen... Magic.
You hang around the Magic Castle long enough.
I know. I wish, but I saw. So I saw this dude. Everybody just saw me scratch my balls on the live. I forgot the camera was looking. It usually cuts off at the chest,
Because usually he's right there in front of the camera.
I got the zoom in camera here if I wanted to. No.
Multiple angles.
So that guy is doing a card trick, right? And the whole swallowing of cigarettes is a joke. It's not part of the trick, if you think about it. But what he's doing, he lights one cigarette.
Right,
if I smoke. And he lights 4.
He just flings them into his mouth.
And he has this weird technique of grabbing them from his lips, and opening his tongue and pull the whole cigarette, all 4 cigarettes into the button of his mouth, so he can now have his lips free to light another 4 or 5. And then he pulls.
Insane.
He holds them he holds the 4 cigarettes.
I didn't even know that guy died.
And spits the. Yeah, he died of cancer.
Go fig.
Yeah. And then he lights another 4, grabs them with his hand, and spits the other 4 into his lips, and then he puts all of them. So now he has 8 or 10 or whatever. I didn't count them, but it was a big chunk of cigarettes. And he does this 4 or 5 times. So he has 20, 30 cigarettes in his mouth, all lit. And at some point they started going out. So he grabs a lighter and lights them all up again, right? And then he just in one move and all the cigarettes in his mouth, and then he grabs a napkin and wraps it around the cigarettes, and he starts chewing. And then he does something with his hands. You completely lose focus on his mouth, and it's all gone. The camera doesn't pan away or anything. He swallows something between 20 and 30 cigarettes with a couple of napkins, and then he grabs another cigarette.
I don't know how he died.
Motherfucker, what are you doing? It's not a trick.
Right.
According to David Blaine, it's not a trick. He's swallowing 20 cigarettes
but the
a
thing
night.
is, he's also at the same time doing a trick.
Yeah, he was doing a card trick. And by the way, after he finishes doing that, he's telling her she
So
named
it's
a
like
number.
stacking tricks, basically.
It's not even that. He had already palmed a signed card.
I love how
folded
passionate
it.
you are about this. Like, you can really see the geek come out.
Right.
Here.
Because I'm a performer. Like, I put so much work into learning how to do the little details on cards and handling,
right.
palming, angles, the way that people react to certain tricks, so you don't have to do that kind of trick. There's a lot of subtleties to being a performer of magic specifically, right?
Yeah.
This dude just throws a bomb in there that means nothing to the trick. And then it's just like, and that was, if you count by the time.
And I'm going to do this while eating this grenade.
Yes, the trick, kind of like how you told me that I should slow down so my trick lasts longer.
Right.
Well, he didn't do that. He just added a 10-minute chunk that means nothing to the fucking trick.
By the way, an idea for you?
You want me to do that?
No.
Okay.
What you do is sometimes there's a connecting thread in
Yeah, I have
people's
to
acts
tell a story with one trick
that-
to the other, right?
Well, not just that, but if you do something where different parts of the act create different parts of the same trick, and it's a bunch of different
and it connects at the end. That's like comedy when you bring back an old story.
Right. I suggest that.
Interesting.
Because it gives the audience an opportunity to play along and be there with you for it, and it gives the thing meaning.
Gotcha. Well, that's one of the, like, my thing is from Penn and Teller, and I think from like Jon Stewart is
it's
one of the things I learned is like you want to tell, like you want to make a point, and it's not just a performance.
Right.
It's you telling your story to them, so that they kind of feel the way you feel or understand the way you understand things.
It's silly.
This is really the way I look at
it's silly
performance.
and it's verbal and it's during my show, but just the simple skill or danger thing is totally that.
You
thread.
ask the crowd, and that's a magician's choice.
Right, and that's a thread.
Okay. And that connects to everything else you do.
Right.
Okay. I can see that.
And so it doesn't have to be like this spectacular thing. What's important is the connection.
Sorry, let me get it out of my, because I'm already losing my train of thought. The same guy was just, he swallows a bunch of cigarettes.
Right.
Right? And he had a deck of cards. He already had... I didn't even watch that part. She signed a card, put it in the deck. He did a shuffle, put it on the table, and then he started smoking. That's the...
Right.
He just interrupted the trick with this stupid shit about cigarettes. He finishes the cigarette.
I only smoke when I'm on fire.
He finishes like swallowing 20 plus cigarettes. He grabs a new one and goes like, "You mind if I smoke?" And he's like, "Oh, you said 38, right?" And he goes back into the trick. And he's like, "Okay, count 38 cards. That'll be an impressive trick." And she's counting 38 cards. Grabs the card that she counts to. Like, that's not my card.
He's more blatant about it.
How about making the trick last?
Well, no, not just
But
last, but he's more blatant about the thread.
Oh, I see. Because he's coming back to the subject, which is an interesting.
But you see
technique.
what's going on.
Gotcha. But no, like, well, let me get to this. So he then drops a marker, which, come on, this was painfully obvious, by the way. He grabs a marker as she's like, "Oh, that's not your card." Oh, and he grabs a marker and he's like doing something, and he just drops it under the table. And of course, his head goes under the table. The microphone catches. He just throws the folded card in his fucking mouth. And he comes back up and he says something, blah blah. And he's like, "Oh wait," and he spits the folded card that she just signed, which he probably palmed at the beginning of the fucking trick. And when he pretended to drop the marker that she signed,
I think what you said about
he goes under and throws it in his fucking mouth, and the microphone accidentally catches it.
I-
So you hear him go.
Okay, so
You know what I
remember
mean?
I was telling you about the Magic Castle?
Mhm.
Something you said earlier about Penn and Teller being fooled by the fakir in India.
Yeah.
That goes on a lot at the castle.
Yes, when
You know
can fool a
why?
performer, yeah.
Because you know everyone in your audience is other magicians.
Mhm.
So you make the assumption
That they're looking for the trick.
They know how the normal trick is
Yes.
done. And what they'll do is they'll put another spin on it where it can't be done the normal
way that you normally do it,
So
yes.
there's like, what you'll get there is like layered tricks. And that's one of the reasons I want to bring you.
I invented a trick intended for magicians because I use moves
By the way,
that are not original moves.
almost useless for the average audience.
Oh yeah, the average person.
It's
wouldn't understand the
completely a geek.
Yeah,
a geek move.
because there's a famous trick called the triumph routine. You've seen me do this, right? I think I showed it to you specifically. It's called the reverse triumph. So triumph routine is pretty common to, like, most of you who learn a magician's. The trick is usually you pick a card, put it in the deck, he shuffles it or does something funky, and the card, he spreads them out, and your card is backwards in the middle of the deck.
Right.
There's 1,000 ways of doing it. There is one that is for imbeciles, that you can buy a special deck of cards called Invisible Deck.
Right.
That does the trick for you. You don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get them to take the card out. They can name a card, and you can spread the deck, and that's the only card backwards. Again, that's the easiest way of doing that same trick. It's called the triumph routine, where I don't know why it's called that, but it's when the card is not backwards in the middle of the deck. I did a trick called I just said it.
Triumph.
The backwards triumph, which somebody chooses a card, right? They follow it. It looks like I palmed it, but I don't. So I expose it. I turn the deck over and leave it sticking out and show the card still there, and I haven't switched it, right? Card goes in, nothing happens. I can either do a ego change, which I don't know if magicians know, but basically a card into another kind of trick.
Right.
Or I put a hair tie that I just have in my wristband and tie it. And then what happens at the end of that trick is that when I snap my fingers, the card that is taken out of the deck that I never pushed all the way in is now faced up, and you can see the face of it.
No.
Now, to an audience member, he just flipped the whole thing. The thing is, when I take the rubber band out, all the other cards are backwards, and their card is the only one that's backwards. So what I flipped is the deck, not the card.
Hey, later, if I teach you this is like a role reversal thing. If I teach you a card trick that's going to take some practice dexterity-wise.
I'll practice it to death.
All right.
You know how I do. Show me something new, I'll fucking obsess with
it.
it.
I don't have it down either, by the way. But I've got the concept. I know this will work, and
This is a clip. I just saw a clip from the Joe Rogan's podcast. He has the weirdest fucking people. I wish I could do more like that. But he had a dude. I don't even know his name, but he said something that blew my mind, and I never heard of this. That is said, I have the mental disorder is the addiction of more. And there are people who live their lives like this.
I've written a piece on this, actually.
Really? I'd love to see it.
It's called Enough.
It
was a conversation
I had a poem called Never Enough.
It was a conversation between me and Master Kim, actually. It had to do with most people in this country don't understand the concept of enough.
There was an experiment with soup, I believe, where they had a bowl of soup connected to the table that will refill. Automatically refill soup. And apparently, on average, a person will eat something like 40-50% more food when they can't see how much they're eating.
Interesting.
People tend to eat until the plate is somewhat empty. If they're on a diet, half the plate. If you're hungry, empty the plate.
You know about the thing if you...
They're judging by the container.
If you shrink the plate size, it's a good way to lose weight.
Yeah, because you finish your plate and you're full.
Yeah.
You psychologically, you feel full more than physically because you emptied the plate. Right. So smaller servings of food are usually healthier in general.
I wonder if the percentage of calories goes up by 3.14 pi r squared.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. What? You just went nerdy. Like what? Wow. On that note, we're completely out of time.
I'm winning the geek off.
All right. Okay, on that note, we're completely out of time. I'm gonna train you to do the last part of the thing. I say, fuck! I lost my train of thought.
I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, don't repeat that part. So, generally, this show ends with me and Baymix have a quote that represents us.
Right.
So I'm gonna say his, and you're gonna say mine.
All right.
So I'm gonna you're gonna say life is chaos, and I say nothing is sacred.
All right.
And that is the end of the show where we cut. That is the motto of the show.
All right.
And that's the way that we're gonna end it. Do you have anything you want to plug? Everybody, by the way, his link has been on the screen the whole time. It's also on the description of this video.
I say,
please.
I'm saying something that I always say at the beginning.
You can throw a birthday present.
Oh, thank you.
You know, he's turning 51.
I actually say this at the end of a lot of my podcasts too, which is thank you for watching. We're performers. A performer without an audience is schizophrenic.
This is schizophrenic.
Thanks for saving us.
Well, on that note, thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. And you know this?
His?
No. Oh,
No.
I start, right?
Oh, okay.
No. You start.
Yeah, his?
You say life is chaos.
Oh, life is chaos.
And nothing is sacred.
His. Wait.
Huh? What do you mean?
God damn it! Now
What do you mean his?
I missed. I thought you said his and mine, and then.
No, me and Baymax invented the phrase "life is chaos, nothing is sacred."
Damn it!
So his part is nothing is sacred, but he's not here. So I'm saying his, and you're saying mine.
Right. But the way you said it was.
Yeah, you thought you had to say him or his. And now we're still recording, so
watch as we fail.
Life is chaos and nothing is sacred. Say life is chaos.
Life is chaos.
Nothing is sacred. Good night, everybody.
Good night.